Hi, so this is Kara back with Petals and Stems in the garden, and we're talking about seed collection, and it is late spring, mid-June, and we are gathering seeds as our early spring flowers go to seed. And today we are gathering some Dianthus, and what I'm trying to do is make sure I'm gathering in correct colors. Years past I usually just gather them in a bundle and just label them as mixed, but I'm really trying to be better about being more specific. So let's take a look at where we are with these. So this is one of our Dianthus patches. We have several. What we're looking at is a patch of pinks and whites, and then we have other patches of colors more like deep magenta and a darker pink and some variegated colors. Now these are really strongly going to seed, and so I really want to get in here because I'm still deciding if I'm going to grow these here next year or we're going to rotate our crops a little bit. But they're really visually clear on what we're looking for. So let's focus in here. This was just a flower head. It's dried out. All the petals are gone. Most of the petals on the plant are gone. And as you look at the seed head or the flower head, you can literally see the seeds practically popping out. So Dianthus forms these lovely little purses, and they'll be fairly green as they're getting ready to create their seeds. Flower heads have died off, and as they're ready, they'll start to pop open, and you can see inside all those lovely seeds. Now you can facilitate the crop you have and just pour them right down into the soil like that. I like to kind of tap them in my hand, get an idea of how many I'm using or gaining. But I'm going to be moving these this year, so I don't really want to get too crazy about putting these back in the ground. These are biennial, as I understand. I just feel like they keep growing and growing for me, so I don't really keep track. And so what we would like to do is take a few of these pods with us. Sometimes I just pluck the whole plant off, go over to our shop. A nice thing to do too is just cut them at the base, but I'm being kind of efficient today. So we're gonna pluck a few flower heads off, take them over to our workbench, tap them out in the correct color, store them and label them, and then we'll talk more about what do we do with these from there. So there's not really a way to differentiate the colors of the flower by the seed, and we actually may even not be accurate because the bees might have cross-pollinated some of these colors, but we'll just go with what we think we got. So on the left here I have the white Dianthus. On the right we have the pink, and so all I'm going to do is just turn it up and tap it out. Now what you probably more smartly would do at home is do this just in like a bowl, but again I like working on a white surface, and sometimes I just do it directly into the container I'm going to store them in. But I want you to get a good visual here of just how many seeds you can so easily gather from these plants. But they also might drop that many right into the ground as well. So these are great self-seeders. They will re-sow quite hardly for themselves. Again, I think that planting them in the fall lends to a more successful crop because they'll go ahead and start growing in the fall. And so they have a really strong plant already by spring, and then by early spring, April, May or March, if you have a really warm spring, they'll already have some blooms growing. So you can see just this tiny little amount of plant is producing easily a whole nother strong row of these. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to plant 3 times as much as you think you're going to need, just due to disease, insect infestation, or general weather plant disruptions. So this is Dianthus Sweet William. It's a biennial. I move mine around so much and have so much coming up every year that it's hard to notice that it really only flowers every year. If you just start planting now, you'll probably be guaranteed to have a good production every year. And every year I make sure that I spread the seeds around my wildflower bed, so I always have some. And then every year I try to keep a production bed going so I can kind of control the colors a little bit more. And also that's the area where I try to keep our community garden volunteers and community members out of, to guarantee that I have enough for my arrangements and bouquets. So this is fun. I hope you got some information out of this. Again, sow in the fall. You try sowing in the spring. It may just take a little longer, or you may have to wait till the next year to see blooms. But enjoy this beautiful flower.